iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Daphne, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, SJ. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So this movie has been delayed because of the pandemic. So what's the excitement level that audiences are about to experience one of the most beautiful films I've seen in such a long time?
Thank you. I think it's pretty much a roller coaster ride. There's this expression in Spanish called pelo parado, which is basically like when your hair is standing. I think I'm feeling that a bit, you know.
So what's the excitement level? This movie is about to be seen by millions of people across the world. It's a beloved musical. So Corey, what's the excitement level for you right now?
It's the Zoom camera doesn't quite reach up to where it needs to go. It's crazy. It's mad. It's like we've been waiting for so long also for this film to come out. Not only just the lead up to getting this film made, but just with everything that's happened in this past year, I really feel like this movie is the jolt of like hope and joy that we need. Have you seen it, Sarah?
I have. It's probably one of my favorite movie musical adaptations in such a long time.
Yeah, well, mine too. I think all of us too. I mean, I think
it's unanimous.
Yeah. It's just we're ready for it to for the world to see it, because we put so much love and so much joy and hard work, literal blood, sweat, and tears into it. And now just to be able to bring this representation to the screen is important and needed.
Going into this, you're a musical theater kid. You've done Matilda on Broadway, you did the national tour, you've done other theater in New York City. What was the rehearsal process like for In the Heights before you went into the filming process?
Rehearsal, I believe we started about a month before shooting, like May 2019. And honestly, I was just so excited because coming from a musical theater background, rehearsals to me are like that time, you know, really to get to learn and discover what you want to do when it comes to things like dance, which is such a staple of the film. And getting to rehearse with all the amazing dancers, but also with the cast, it was really great.
Melissa, this musical is such a beloved musical. Were there any hesitations with pressure that you would be taking on these roles that have been originated by some of the biggest Broadway stars? Or did you say, no, this is my own role, I'm going to make it what it is?
I mean, it was a little bit of both, I think, because obviously I saw Karen Oliva originate the role. I got the fortune of seeing her on Broadway, and then I saw so many other fantastic artists take on the role and like make it their own. So you want to do right by the role, and you want to do right by Lynn and Kiara and make them proud. So there's pressure in that, but there's also the feeling of knowing that my Vanessa is going to be like the Vanessa that a lot of people know for the first time. Like it's going to be a lot of people that couldn't travel and couldn't see it on Broadway or didn't have, the good fortune of getting to see it on a stage will get to see this movie. And I get to be a new Vanessa, and I get to bring new life to her. So that it was also a gift to be able to take her into my heart and give her like a different side of her that only I could give her,
Right.
So a little bit of both pressure, but also the joy of getting to like make her my own. And in the film adaptation, we get to meet her a little bit. We get to know her a little bit more than in the original stage version. So Kiara also gave me a little bit more to play with, and that's exciting as well.
And Leslie, was there not just the pressure of creating this film, but to represent a whole community? Was there a little bit of pressure with that aspect of the film as well?
Ooh, more than a little bit. I think we all felt the responsibility. Like as Melissa said, there's a sense of like you don't want to mess it up, and I always mention like that on the day that we were reading our first table read, we all went around and signed each other's scripts, and on John's script there was I don't know if I can say this, but there was don't
fuck it up, you know, written by Lynn, signed by Lynn. And not only did John feel that and take it into account, but we all felt like this thing about not fucking it up, you know, like we really knew that we had something precious that, you know, was in our hands to now take and, you know, add those special keys that only each one of us had to add to these characters. And there's responsibility to that, but there's also opportunity in that. And we all just felt really, really blessed. I personally feel so blessed to have had this be my first movie, and to have experienced it with people that I consider family. Like we all just, I mean, I know I speak for everyone when I say we feel transformed by this experience.
There are moments that you steal the show in this movie, and the ensemble feeling also when you're in the hair salon and the ensemble just together, it's just one of the most beautiful cohesive moments that take place in this film. So I'm wondering what it was like working with your cast and then also working with John Chu as the director.
You know, it to just, at the risk of repeating myself, it was a love fest. Every day was a really best day to go to work. We were all really happy to be there. The energy is contagious, you know, like, and it always starts from the top. So, you know, between John, Lynn, and Kiara, there was this triumvirate of positive excellence that encouraged excellence from others. And, you know, let me not forget the word like kindness and humanity. So like with people being aware, with the helmsmanship of Lynn, John, and Kiara, of like, what do you need to help make this better? We were all very conscious of what we needed and what, you know, we could give each other. There was only generosity, right? It's amazing what you can do with a room full of generosity.
Corey, I know you as a classical actor, Tony nominated for 6 Degrees of Separation. You can sing and dance. So I'm curious what the rehearsal process was like for you to go into this and to have the role and to have the performance that you did. Talk me through the rehearsal process.
Well, I have to be careful what I say now because they won't let me say that I can't sing anymore.
Yeah, I said I would smack him upside the head if he says it one more time because it's a lie.
But I will say, I have never done it, you know, in public, or I never sang in a studio. I never sang like live on a like where a lot of people. That's not what I lead with. I'll say that. But I've always loved to do it. I grew up around singers, my grandmother and her family, 7 brothers and sisters, like that's all we heard. So it's always been in my blood, but I just never called myself a singer or a dancer. But when I was a kid, I used to dance and like, you know, do all these things, but I just never was like, you know, I never lived with that. So to be able to step inside of this with our incredible choreography team, the dancers in this movie, really,
they're everything.
They really make this
everything.
And they are New York's best of every genre, every genre. And so we would get in there 7 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock in the morning, and start warm-ups. And you know, I remember one specific day where we were doing like this sort of like pass off, and you would dance with each, you know, the next dancer, and I just remember like sneaking out of the room, like just walking out and sitting on a bleacher on the outside. And I got out there and I think I saw Melissa was there. And then I think Leslie stepped out and Anthony.
I was the last one to step out. I was like, oh,
I
didn't give me the memo. I didn't know we could do that.
We were all sitting on the bench just like, what do we sign up for?
Well, I think SJ needs context because what happened is that it was like, I think the first day that all the dancers came in and no one told the dancers that we were the actors. So they started, you know, it was like a wheel kind of thing where we would switch partners, and they were all looking at us like, who are these people that can't like pick up the choreography?
Why are they here?
Like, they were like, they thought that we were messing up their audition basically.
Yeah.
So they were all like, And we're like, why didn't you tell them that we're the actors so that they don't so that they know that we're not gonna be as good as them.
Yeah, it was really one for the books. That was at the very beginning. And then ever since then, like, it was just like, we were like, okay, it's game time. We have to show up just as much as they have to show up, just as much as we have to. Like, everybody has to bring their all in order for us to do this. The singing has to be excellent. The dancing has to be excellent. The acting has to be excellent. It all has to meld, and it all has to tell the story at the end of the day. And I think the heart was what led that.
Filming on the streets of Washington Heights, talk to me about that experience, being in the neighborhood, bringing the story to life in the actual neighborhood where it is set.
You know, filming in the Heights, it adds such an authenticity to the film that really you can see through the screen, you know, sitting at home or in the theaters. And also just things like, you know, getting food from local restaurants or going to the bodega on the corner, or just having people from Washington Heights as extras in the film. It was great to get to hear all these amazing stories that you could bring back with you to set, and, you know, just help with the whole filming process.
I'm just curious what that experience was like to film nothing but in Washington Heights.
Okay, so I have to tell the story. So, you know, we have that group thread, the group text, you know, the cast text. And Leslie, who plays Nina, she sent us a video of her family in Miami watching trailers and, you know, just celebrating Leslie. And one of her aunts, you know, one of her ancestors, she's like the real life dyed-in-the-wool Daniela, telling the story about how her mom almost died at the High Bridge pool when they were throwing her in. I know the story, but like that, you know, it was like an accident. It you know, it was an accident, but that it was the High Bridge pool. That it was like you could actually, you know, like go back to these actual locations and have these stories about these places where like that affected your life. You know, when we see the pool, and you know, there's so many landmarks that are very particular to Washington Heights. So, and Washington Heights is beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It really is beautiful.
Yep.
And you are the next generation to usher in the Heights, just like the Broadway was to my generation. So I'm curious what you want this new generation of musical theater lovers who are about to witness In the Heights, what do you want them to take away from the film? And anyone can answer.
I hope that they take away that there's a place for them, you know, like there's a place for everyone on this stage, on this screen. And that's, I think, you know, we all feel that way. That's our biggest goal, is that people really feel seen. People that haven't seen themselves at this scale feel seen through us, you know, vicariously, you know, through us telling this story that is so beloved now on screen. I hope that, you know, young little girls and little boys like that, you know, dreamt just like us when we were younger, see themselves in this, and they're like, wow, I can do it, you know. If you can see it, you can be it, Jimmy has said. And like, I really do believe that. So I hope they take that.
So I'm curious what you want these fans to take away from In the Heights.
Joy, acceptance, you know, what's the word? Yeah, just humanity, that it's, you know, it's really normal to be human. That's a weird thing to say. That, you know, joy, celebration of life.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.